news stories for you. Today's second video. His first news story is from Ethiopia-Somalia border, where a military convoy of Ethiopian National Defense Force came under attack, and some Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers have been killed there. Second news story is from Tigray. Tigray government just 30 minutes ago announced to release some prisoners of war. We know that thousands of Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers, regional forces soldiers were captured by Tigray Defense Force last year. And they were in the custody of Tigray Defense Force. Some were released too last year. Now Tigray has announced to release more prisoners of war. How many will be released? A third news story is from Amhara Oromia border, where a convoy of Amhara Special Force came under attack, and some casualties are being reported from North Shoa zone of Amhara region, which is on Amhara Oromia border. And last news story is about Ethiopian government's call. Ethiopian government has issued a call for international community. It wants international community to condemn allegedly what is being done by Tigray People Liberation Front. What does Ethiopian government want from international community? International community wants delivery of aid to Tigray. It wants permanent ceasefire in northern Ethiopia. And what does Ethiopian government want from international community? Firstly, viewers, Ethiopia-Somalia border. We know that Al-Shabaab is an armed group which has been operating for years in Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya border areas. The group has tremendous outreach in these border areas, in Somalia especially. And these three countries are involved in countering this threat. 2 days ago, US announced to deploy its special forces, and this deployment is linked to the presence of this armed group in this region, which is a joint threat for all the countries. Now, an Ethiopian military convoy came under attack from this group. The attack happened in Mare village, which is in Bakul region of Somalia. An Ethiopian National Defense Force convoy was on the move, and a roadside bomb hit this convoy, already planted there, and at least 5 ENDF members were killed. 4 have been injured. Ethiopian government has not officially confirmed this attack, but Al-Shabaab, through its news sources, has claimed the responsibility for this attack. Al-Shabaab's attacks on Ethiopian government forces, Kenyan forces, and in Somalia, they have intensified. We have seen that in an attack on Burundi's soldiers in Somalia a few days ago. Several soldiers of Burundi were killed. Kenya is also a target, Ethiopia as well. And so far, these governments have not been able to make joint decisions about some operation against this group. And now US is arriving. US has been in Somalia for some time, but it withdrew. Now once again, its special forces are arriving, but attacks from this group in border areas continue. Second news story is from Tigray. Last year, Tigray forces captured thousands of Ethiopian government soldiers. Mostly Ethiopian National Defense Force soldiers were taken prisoner by Tigray fighters last year, mostly when fighting was in Tigray region. But when Tigray forces entered Amhara Afar regions back then as well, some government soldiers were taken prisoner. Now, Tigray today, just 30 minutes ago, announced to release some of these prisoners. Tigray did not share the total number of these prisoners of war so far. But last year, Tigray said that it had released 1,000 prisoners of war, and more than 5,000 were still with Tigray. It was in July last year when Tigray made this announcement about releasing 1,000 prisoners of war. It means that there would be around 10,000, 8 to 10,000 prisoners of war with Tigray. Today, Tigray announced to release more prisoners. How many will be released? Around 4,000. Tigray says 4,000 regional and government forces, soldiers who were taken prisoner by Tigray will be released. Among the 4,000, around 400 are women. Tigray says that it tried its best to provide aid, medical care to these prisoners of war, and now they're being released. Who will they be handed over to? Will they be handed over to Red Cross? Will they be handed over to Ethiopian government? That remains to be seen. Birhane Kabbede is in charge of Tigray's prisoners of war center, and he has confirmed that these thousands of prisoners will be released in coming hours. A very positive step, viewers, that Tigray is releasing prisoners of war. We have seen some very positive developments in the past 2 months. Humanitarian truce was announced more than a month ago. Then gradually Tigray forces withdrew from most parts of Afar. After that, Ethiopian government started delivery of aid to Tigray, and speed is increasing of this delivery, though still much needs to be done in terms of providing aid to Tigray. And now Tigray is releasing thousands of prisoners of war. All these are very positive steps. And Ethiopian government should reciprocate now, because that people of Tigray, they are still under siege. No electricity, no telecommunication, no banking services. I think Ethiopian government should make big decisions which could avert some escalation, which we're seeing in western and especially in western zone, because in northern areas escalation is between Tigray and Eritrea, but in western part of Tigray and in southern as well, where there is presence of Tigray forces in some parts of Amhara, there could be some progress towards solution if Ethiopian government announces some confidence building measures like restoration of basic services. Overall, a very positive move from Tigray government. Tigray is under siege, people don't have food to eat. How can Tigray afford to keep thousands of these prisoners of war? So instead of starving them, Tigray is releasing them. That is why it's a very positive development. Tigray should be appreciated for that. Now, a third news story is about an attack on a vehicle of Amhara Special Force. Some casualties are being reported of Amhara Special Force members. The attack was carried out on Oromia-Amhara border. It happened in North Shoa zone of Amhara region. Here, some patrolling vehicles of Amhara Special Force were on their way from Ephrata Gedim to Shiva Robert. Ephrata Gedim is on Oromia Amhara border, and in Ephrata Gedim Voreda, Juha town, this attack was carried out. 2 ASF soldiers were killed reportedly, and 1 was injured. Pro-Ethiopian government Amhara news sources are accusing Oromo Liberation Army that it is behind this attack. But we have seen some escalation in this area between local Oromos and Amhara militias Amhara forces in recent weeks when a village, Mulale, close to Shivarabit, was set on fire. So there has been some escalation, local escalation as well. But this attack is being, OLA is being accused of having carried out this attack in North Shore zone of Amhara region. Lastly, viewers, Ethiopian government's foreign ministry is urging international community to speak against Tigray People Liberation Front's new moves. Ethiopian government says that TPLF is making preparations for another war. International community is silent. Why isn't international community condemning? Why the international community is stopping TPLF from making these preparations? Ethiopian government says that more than a month ago it announced humanitarian ceasefire. And it started delivering aid to Tigray. It started national dialogue. But TPLF does not want peace. It is making preparations for another war. That is why international community must pressurize TPLF. Now, firstly, national dialogue is a failure. It has been rejected by not only by Tigray but also by ONLF, Ogaden National Liberation Front of Somali region, by OFC, Oromo Federalist Congress of Oromia, OLF, Oromo Liberation Front of Oromia, Baldiras of Skandarnaga. Several opposition parties have rejected this national dialogue, firstly. Secondly, core issue is unresolved. Amhara Volkai Sagade. If there is no progress toward the solution to this issue, there cannot be lasting peace. Tigray has made it clear that it will not allow anybody to remain in illegal control of even an inch of its land. It means that TDF sooner or later will launch a military offensive on Amhara Volkai Sagade if there is no solution. So Ethiopian government, instead of pressurizing international community, should try to find a solution to western zone, Amhara Volkai Sagade, western Tigray. If there is no solution there, you'll see a war sooner or later. That is what Tigray says, that it wants lifting of siege, it wants restoration of basic services, it wants its territory back. So either talk about this area, western zone, or Tigray will explore other options. That is my assessment. Thank you for watching.